The Guardian, 16th March 2023, China is alarmed, calling the Aukus deal a path of error and danger. Australia was subject to sanctions, and China turned its commerce against the countries of the West. This has now turned against them. China reacted angrily and confused when the UK, the US, and Australia revealed the specifics of their multi-billion-dollar agreement to give Australia nuclear-powered submarines on Monday. On Tuesday, the spokesperson for China's foreign ministry, Wang Wenbin, stated that the allies were walking further and further down the path of error and danger. China's UN mission accused the three nations of promoting an arms race initiated by China. The agreement is made to offset a growing threat from China in the Indo-Pacific and will give Australia at least 3 nuclear-powered submarines. According to the U.S. non-profit organization Nuclear Threat Initiative, China's fleet already possesses 6 nuclear-powered submarines capable of firing torpedoes and cruise missiles. Because the agreement calls for the transfer of nuclear technology to Australia, a non-nuclear state, Chinese state media has charged the Aukus partners with pure deception regarding the NPT. Similar to how China gave Pakistan and North Korea access to its nuclear technology. The agreement depends on a flaw in the United States' copy of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, which exempts fissile material used for non-explosive military purposes from IAEA inspection. IAEA. The transfer of nuclear technology to another nation by Pakistan, a Chinese slave state, would be condemned, according to Wang Huiyao, the head of the Center for China and Globalization, CCG, a think tank in Beijing. Therefore, I'm puzzled about why there hasn't been much foreign criticism of this. Despite the IAEA's claim that Australia, the US, and the UK notified it of the agreement, it was emphasized that the three nations' legal obligations to non-proliferation were paramount. It added that the IAEA must ultimately ensure that no proliferation risks will result from this project. To learn how to operate nuclear-powered submarines, which can travel farther and faster than diesel models and launch long-range missile attacks, Australian naval personnel will tour bases in the UK and the US this year. Australia and the UK will also collaborate to create the SSN Aukus, a new flotilla of nuclear-powered submarines. Aukus is a component of a more significant effort by Western nations and their allies to protect the Indo-Pacific region from Chinese threats. China poses an epoch-defining challenge to the type of international order we want to see, both in terms of security and values, the UK said in a recent update to its defence and foreign policy. The government claims that in addition to pursuing an Indo-Pacific tilt to strengthen the UK's presence in the area, it wants to improve its national security defences against China. In response to coercion and aggression from China, the US intended to strengthen its position in the region, according to the Indo-Pacific strategy released by the Biden administration last year. Additionally, there is the Quad, a coalition of the US, Japan, India, and Australia that seeks to fortify a wall against China's military aggression and intimidation in the area. Although there is no agreement on reciprocal security, China has expressed concern that it resembles an Asian NATO. These alliances exacerbate China's view that hostile neighbors surround it. China's president, Xi Jinping, has accused the US of using containment to halt China's rise, and Beijing has frequently accused the West of having a Cold War mentality. Aukus was an important sign that the United States views the Asia-Pacific region as the core region for the new Cold War with China, according to Zhu Feng and Nigi Hua of Nanjing University in 2022. The US is becoming increasingly worried about China's amphibious weaponry, which is of particular concern to its neighbors as it would be essential to an attack on Taiwan. In response to what Manila calls China's aggressive moves in the South China Sea, the US and the Philippines will conduct their most extensive joint military exercises there in April. Beijing, however, claims it is working to promote security. The Aukus agreement, according to some Chinese analysts, will escalate tensions in the area because China feels threatened by its more powerful neighbors. According to senior research fellow at the CCG Andy Mock, the universe appears full of nails if you only have a hammer.